Because it looks like it started. Hello, everybody. I'm Dana Moen,
Hi, everyone. I'm Samantha Martinez
and we are principals at Classical Academy High School in Escondido.
at Coastal Academy High School in Oceanside.
Awesome. You want to get us going, Samantha?
Sure, I would love to. So, parents, students, we are so excited. It's hard to believe we're already beginning to talk about the 2025-2026 school year. We love high school. Dana and I talk all the time about how much we love hanging out with teenagers, going to events, supporting kiddos, as really their last stop along the way until they go off to college, career, trade school, the military, whatever their next steps are. So, we're super excited to talk to you about next year. The purpose of our video today is to help you explore the many different school programs offered here at the Classical Academies for high school students.
Yeah, thank you, Samantha. We're super excited to just share all of the various programs, and this is going to go out to TCA families, but also for families that might be entering the lottery as well. At the end, we'll kind of share that process as well. You have lots of choices at Classical. One thing I'm just going to pass on to parents right now is these next 4 years, if your son or daughter is coming as a freshman, these are very transformational years in your student's life, and it's time to start kind of transferring some of that, I would say, that ownership of decision making to your students. This should be a shared decision making process in which school, which program. I always encourage parents to start thinking about what is your goal by the time your student graduates high school, because what your goal is going to impact the way that you parent them. But we definitely want to encourage you to kind of bring them into this process of choosing a high school.
Absolutely. Now, some parents can feel like this is very stressful when we have amazing high school programs. We have one in Oceanside, one in Escondido. Dana and I both agree no matter where your student goes, they will be taken care of and have truly an exceptional learning experience. So, we want to preface with you can't go wrong at the Classical Academies. We have amazing high school programming. But we do want to go over some factors that you might want to consider when choosing a high school for your student. Location obviously can be one of the biggest factors. There's a big difference between Escondido and Oceanside in terms of location. We do have students who elect to ride the sprinter back and forth. But ultimately, you want to find the program that meets your students' needs as far as scheduling, activities, courses, and relationships, right? Sometimes friends can be a piece that makes the difference. And high school relationships, having friendships, that matters. So that absolutely is a piece to consider. We have three very unique programs with varying degrees of flexibility, academic options, and extracurricular activities. So we encourage you, if you're uncertain about what school to send your student to, have your student visit Classical and Coastal. This year, we're intentionally having freshmen for a day at different times on the same day so that if you want to visit both our campuses, you are invited, welcome, and wanted to do that. And then finally, student buy-in and ownership is important. If mom and dad want one thing and the student wants something totally different, we encourage you to lean in and have a conversation there because sometimes if we force a student to go somewhere that they really don't want to go, that can be detrimental to their success. So just something to consider. But again, all of our sites offer exceptional programming and will serve your student well.
Awesome. Well said. Hey, at this point, we just want to share the different program options you guys get to choose from. And I'm going to start with Classical Academy High School in Escondido. It is one school, it's one charter, two campuses, and four different program options for next year, which would be very similar to what we had this year. The studio campus is our larger campus, about 880 students. That program is 4 days on campus, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What makes that campus unique is they're on a modified quarter system. Most of our students only take 3 to 4 classes at a time. The classes are 80 minutes long. And they're accelerated. They go at a little bit faster pace. So a typical freshman, I'm just going to share a schedule for this one because it's different. A freshman would have math all year, but English would only be half a year. Biology would be half a year. And then usually their third period would be 2 years of a foreign language in one year, like Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 or French 1 and French 2. PE is done independent study at all of our campuses. So that's what makes the studio campus special and unique. It's 4 days on campus, but it's really a modified schedule. The PL campus is 2 blocks from the studio campus. We serve about 440 students on that campus. There's 3 different program options at the personalized learning campus. Personalized learning is such a perfect name for that campus with 3 different options. You can do the 3-day program on campus with workshops that meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can do the full virtual program, or you can do our homeschool program where you have some choice over your curriculum. The personalized learning campus uses a program called gradient learning. It was kind of birthed out of Summit Learning. I don't want to call it a full project-based learning environment, but it's very student-centered. It's very student-driven and inquiry-driven. Students have a lot of ownership of their learning in the gradient model. So 3 days on campus or full virtual or homeschool are our options at personalized learning. How about Coastal, Samantha?
Awesome, sure. So Coastal High School, we have about 775 students this year. Next year, we're at our brand new campus, which is super exciting. And so with our new campus comes space. So we're looking at enrolling to probably about 900 next year. And that includes our 2 programs. So we have our 4-day program and our fully independent study program. So I'll go ahead and chat about our 4-day program first. So our 4-day program, similar to classical, students are on campus Tuesday through Friday. Attendance is required for our 4-day program. Different from classical, all of our courses are year-long courses. So students participate in their courses from August to June. Traditional schedule is 5 classes per student to be full-time. We do have an optional 0 period for students as well that they may elect to participate in if they want to get ahead, take extra classes, start earlier in the day. We also have opportunities within the 4-day program to slow down or speed up the learning of content depending on your students' needs. That's something we can talk about upon enrollment. Our fully independent study program has gained massive popularity since COVID. And so we have 2 different options within our fully independent study program. You could go the more traditional route where the parent truly serves as the primary educator. We give you brick and mortar textbooks, a teacher's guide, etc. Or the more popular version of our independent study program is via Acellus, our fully online A through G approved online learning platform. Students receive all of their instruction via a credentialed teacher online, and the parent's role is to support, provide accountability, communicate with the independent study teacher, but they're not the one actually delivering the content. And then as space allows, we have students that participate in a hybrid of both. I think Dana probably has that as classical as well. We have kiddos that take some classes 4 days, some classes independent study, or at Dana's site, some at studio, maybe 1 or 2 at PL. So as space allows, we like to partner with students and parents in that way. So let's see, at Coastal High, as we think about enrolling for next year and enrollment in our freshman class, one question that we get asked pretty often is how many freshman spots are available. And what's so exciting, parents, is every year we're able to increase this number as our sites grow, and Coastal High has grown and classical continues to expand. So at Coastal High, we're actually looking at taking our biggest freshman class ever. We're going to be inviting 225 Stingray freshmen to our new campus. Dana, what do freshman spots look like for Studio and PL for next year?
Yeah, at Studio and PL, we're not really changing the size of the campuses in Escondido at this point. So Studio will enroll about 250 freshmen, and the PL will enroll about 150 freshmen. Out of those 150 freshmen, probably about 50 will be in the virtual or the IS program, so maybe about 100 on campus. And as Samantha said, our classical families have priority enrollment along with siblings. So you might have an 8th grader coming up into 9th grade that doesn't go to classical, but they have a sibling at classical. They get priority enrollment as well. If you don't have priority enrollment, then you go through the lottery, and we'll kind of explain that towards the end of this video as well. Samantha, I know that both of our campuses have the traditional events like homecoming dance and prom, graduation, which is always awesome. But what about like the other sports and activities? I know that your campus has grown quickly in the last few years. What are some of the sports and activities you want to highlight for our families?
Absolutely. So, parents, you hear some music in the background. We have a 90-second bell that goes off. So, I apologize about the music here in the background. So our sports and activities, both of our high schools participate in CIF and have a full athletics program. So I won't go and list every single sport, but we both have athletic programs. We have a variety of clubs. We have Link Crew that exists to support our freshmen and transfer students. We have a culinary arts program at our school. We're super excited about our new culinary arts classroom. If you're interested in seriously considering Coastal High School, you have to come see our new culinary arts space. It's amazing, and I tell students and parents it would make Gordon Ramsay himself jealous. It's a really, really cool learning space. So that's a unique piece about Coastal High. Another unique program that we offer is our mock trial program. We have a competitive mock trial team that goes to competition against other San Diego-based high schools at the San Diego Courthouse end of January every year. And we have a super passionate teacher and attorney coaches who are committed to preparing students for that opportunity. We have a sailing program, surf program, other things that are very similar to classical, cheer, dance, band, all of those different opportunities. We also have boys and girls wrestling, and I think, Dana, this is probably a good place for me to tag you. I believe you added wrestling this year. Is that
Ah,
correct? You add
you know,
wrestling?
you know what? We were going to, but we decided not to. So yeah, if you want to wrestle, make sure to choose Coastal High. Wrestling is just right now at Coastal High. Actually, next year it's hard to know whether we'll add it or not, but no. Wrestling is one of the sports that classical does not offer. The other sports that we don't offer would be like field hockey, badminton, and those are the only ones I can think of. Classical, I just counted them up. Classical in Escondido has 30 varsity sports. If we include the cheer team, which some years they compete, some years they don't. It depends on whether they want to compete that year or not. But if we add cheer and mountain bike, there's 30 varsity sports. Both of our campuses have levels of JV, sometimes a freshman team, sometimes a novice team. Some of our programs have grown so large that there might be four teams. There might be varsity, JV, freshman, and novice. I'm not going to highlight all the programs, but some are really, really strong, competing at the D1 level against the top schools in San Diego. Some are just kind of still starting off, and they're competing at lower levels. I have to highlight one of our teams that got started on the ground level last year when California started offering girls flag football. We just got off in the first year by offering the sport, won CIF in year one. We won it again this year in year two. So we won the first division in San Diego. So we have the number one ranked girls flag football team in San Diego. They're ranked about number four in the state, and I think last I checked, about seven in the nation. So girls flag football, great things are happening. I know it's also growing at Coastal. So we both campuses offer so many opportunities. Before a little bit later, we're going to talk about some of the classes, but I also just want to mention we at both of our schools, our goal is to get 100% of our students involved because we know when they're involved outside of the classroom, they're going to show up and do so much better in the classroom. They have more courage, more motivation, more determination. So it's not just sports, guys. Samantha mentioned the clubs. Clubs are offered to all three of our campuses. At Classical High, we also have cheer, dance, flag, choir, band, color guard, theater, ASB, robotics, yearbook, academic. There's an academic team. Like you can compete academically against other schools. So just lots and lots of ways to get involved. Yeah, what are besides just the sports and activities, Samantha, what are like some ways or maybe some reasons that people would choose your campus in Oceanside?
Well, in a literal sense, when you drive by on the freeway, you see our campus from the freeway now and a big sign that says Coastal High. So we're gaining a lot of attention and desire because of our brand new beautiful campus. And for us, it makes a really big difference. Our other campus we outgrew, and our brand new campus is absolutely stunning and gives us room to grow. So there's a lot of excitement and momentum about our brand new campus now that we're actually here. Year-long year-long courses. Some students are looking for a school that offers year-long courses, so that's one piece to consider. Comparatively to other Oceanside-based high schools, our class sizes are smaller. Our teachers are engaged. We offer a mentoring program at our school where every 4-day student has an adult mentor and champion partnered alongside them to support them throughout their schooling. We have a family feeling, an awesome culture and community at our school. We have some specific programming at Coastal High. I mentioned our culinary arts program. We're also one of the only San Diego high schools to offer 4 levels of American Sign Language as our foreign language program. So we offer ASL 1, 2, 3, and 4 currently. Our athletics program, we are getting more competitive. I used to say in this video that every student had an opportunity to be a varsity athlete. I will say some of our teams are getting more competitive than others, but all students have a chance to get involved in
Yeah.
some capacity if they want, whether that's playing on the team, serving on the team, serving as a manager. But many of our teams are still in their earlier infancy stages. And so many of our students report having come from like Fallbrook or Oceanside that they are getting significantly more playing time at Coastal High School just because we're a newer athletics program comparatively to other schools. And then we offer a lot of flexibility, as do the academies in general. We build our programming to meet students where they're at. Uh,
Mm.
and so I think those are some of the reasons that families choose Coastal High. What about you, Dana?
That's awesome. I just thought of this. I mean, you mentioned the sign. That's so cool. I didn't realize that you're that close to the freeway, but I just thought of a random reason why some choose Classical in Escondido. It seems kind of random, but to be quite honest, Escondido home prices are very reasonable. So if you want to buy a home closer to the high school, obviously we have families from all over the county, even adjacent counties. We have kids that drive an hour to school. But we also have many families that look for and buy a home in Escondido or rent a home in Escondido because the home, I was born and raised here. I was born in 1970. I've lived in Escondido my whole life. So that, to be honest, that's one reason. Let me kind of share the reason the 2 separate campuses are chosen. The studio campus, kids choose that because they want a more traditional school environment. It feels full of energy, of life. It's a bigger campus with 880 students on it, big, loud pep rallies, packed hallways, lots of energy, lots of excitement. Personalized learning campus. Students want ultimate flexibility, whether they're doing the 3-day workshop program or they're doing the full virtual program and they're zooming in for some of their classes or they're blending it. One thing that Samantha and I didn't mention yet, a reason that people choose all of our programs, especially the more personalized, virtual, or the IS programs, is to blend with Palomar College or Miracosta College. So lots and lots of classical and coastal students are taking concurrent enrollment at the college. One cool thing with Classical Escondido is this spring, for the first time ever, we're going to have a Palomar professor teaching ASL on the high school campus. That's called dual enrollment. So it's an actual Palomar class taught at the high school. And we have plans to expand that next year to start adding additional levels of ASL and hopefully computer science as well. We're working on that agreement with Palomar right now. Last thing I'll say about the personalized learning campus is the students, and this is for both of our independent study programs, but students that aren't fully immunized. So in California, you have to have the immunizations to do the on-campus program. So we have some that aren't immunized that do our virtual programs. And they still can participate in all of our extracurricular activities. Or we have maybe professional actors, athletes. Some are professional athletes that don't do our sports teams because they're like literally professionals. So they have to have that freedom and flexibility of working from home.
Totally. Absolutely. By the way, parents, you may have caught Coastal alumni Katie Simmers in the Olympics representing Oceanside in surf. That was our first Olympian ever at Coastal High, which I might be ever. I don't think it's very often that we say we had an Olympian, which is pretty cool. Parents, one question that parents sometimes ask is, can students transfer between campuses? And the short answer is yes. year to year, students can request a change in program and what campus they attend. We want to make sure that your student is at a school that's best for them. And we recognize sometimes changes need to be made. This is typically done each January during the priority enrollment window for the next year. Mid-year program or campus changes are difficult, parents, because of the differences between Coastal High and Classical in programming, particularly the studio program and the 4-day program at Coastal High, with Coastal High offering year-long courses and Classical offering some accelerated and some year-long. It can create a really tricky mid-year switch
Yep.
that more often than not isn't just worth the change. So we often, if at all possible, encourage families to finish out the year at whatever program they're at. Of course, exceptions happen, but as transfers are possible, based on availability and individual circumstances, we do like to say yes, as it's in the best interest of students. And the school principal, Dana, and I are usually always involved in those transfers. We talk to one another. So definitely loop in your principal, because if you don't, we'll definitely talk to each other either way, just because we're super close and partnering with each other in that way. So Dana, we've talked a lot about our programming already, so some of this might be redundant, but when you think about the classes that you offer at Classical, what sets you apart from other Escondido-based schools or other programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. And then I'll come back to you so you can add some. You shared a few, but I'll come back to you on that too. Yeah, Classical and Escondido. So, guys, one thing to just think about, even though we have two campuses, classes are shared across the campuses. So a student might have most of their classes in the 4-day program or most of their classes in the 3-day program, but that one class that they really, really want is offered at the other campus. We get them to that other campus. It's a 5-minute walk or a 2-minute van ride. So we currently, between the two campuses, we offer 17 different AP or honors courses. I'm very, very proud of the fact that this year, for the first year, we offer all 4 of the core AP science classes: AP Bio, AP Chemistry, AP Physics, AP Environmental Science. And the way to do that was to share resources and teachers across the campuses. AP Bio is on both campuses, but chemistry is on one. Physics is on one, AP Environmental Science is on one. We create the master schedule in a way where kids can get back and forth. Some of the favorite electives on these campuses, can't go through them all. I think I'm probably on both of our websites, but if you go to our school resource pages, that's linked off of classicalacademy.com. Go to the site, go to the resource page. You can see our course catalog of all the classes that we offer this year. They don't change too much year to year. Sometimes we add new ones. But some of our exciting ones are woodshop, very, very popular, health and fitness, life skills. We have an amazing music program, and those classes are based out of the PL campus, whether it's choir or band or guitar. And we have an incredible art program that goes all the way up to AP art, that's on the studio campus. So those are some of the really cool offerings at our campuses.
Cool, awesome. So at Coastal High, or in Stingray Land, as we like to say, we also offer a robust assortment of AP classes in all of the core areas except for science. We also offer AP Psychology at our school, which is becoming quite a popular class. A couple other classes that are unique to Coastal High that have become quite popular with students. We have a sports medicine program that's taught by our athletic trainer. We have 2 levels of health and fitness and weight training. Next year, we're looking at adding an agility and coordination fitness class. We offer a class called The Art of Adulting, which is taught by our football coach. He also teaches our health and fitness. That's designed at equipping students with all those skills they may not need for a college science class, but they need if they're going to apply for an apartment, they're going to create a budget, all of those life skills that once students turn 18 and they're so excited to be independent on their own, it equips them with what that actually means when they're on their own post high school. We also have a zoology class for our students that are interested in the sciences and obtaining that 4th year of science elective. We have a music program, guitar, drama. Next year, we're bringing musical theater, or we're calling it theater production rather, back to Coastal High, which is really exciting. Photography, video production. I already mentioned our culinary arts program. We have 4 levels of culinary arts at Coastal High, culinary 1 through 4. Um, in the past, we've offered oceanography. That's on pause right now because of zoology. Our electives at Coastal High really are based on student interest. We send out a survey around this time every year. And if we have students that are really interested in bringing a new elective, and I have a teacher who's passionate about it, we are really, really quick, as long as the master schedule can accommodate it, to try out new electives to meet the needs of our students and the needs of the workforce and what the skills that students need to know and be able to do when they graduate high school. Um, and then, of course, as Dana said, dual enrollment is and concurrent enrollment rather is a really big deal. Dual enrollment, don't want to confuse you, is what Dana mentioned, having a professor come to the school, but concurrent enrollment is what's more popular, especially with our upperclassmen. If there's an elective they want to take that we don't offer, we connect them with their counselor, and they can many times often receive high school and college credit for that specialized elective that they take at Miracosta or Palomar. So I think we've covered our overview of our campuses, Dana. Do you want to tell us what our next steps for enrollment are?
Yeah, I'll cover, we're almost done, guys. I'm going to cover priority enrollment, and then Samantha, maybe you can cover the non-priority, the lottery process. So guys, if you have priority, meaning your eighth grader, or actually any grade, goes to a classical school, you have priority enrollment for next year. We want you to get out to the campuses and see the programs. If you have a freshman coming up, we would love for you to attend one of our freshmen for a day events. The information is going out in the email. That's on January 13th. At Classical in Escondido, it's going to be at 9 a.m. in the morning, and we'll be done by 10:30. And regardless of which campus or program, we're doing it all on our larger campus so we can all be together and show you everything that Classical has to offer. Samantha, what time is your freshman for a day on January 13th?
It's from 1 to 3. So it's actually perfect timing if students wanted to attend both of them.
I love that. This is the first that I heard that yours got pushed later. I love the fact that they can actually go to both. So we would encourage you to go to both of the freshmen for a days. Or if you know which campus you're going to go to, make sure you attend that. Both of our campuses do weekly tours. We would also encourage you to get out and do a weekly tour. That's usually a little bit smaller group, and it's during the school day, so you can actually see the classes and the students in their learning environment. And also, the open houses this year, at least at the classical side, are actually before the priority registration deadline, which is January 31st. So come out to an open house if you want to. Sometimes those are geared more for the non-classical families that are coming in for the first time, but anybody can come to those. It's important to note that as you enroll in high school for the first time, there's a priority enrollment form that you want to fill out. There's a little Google link that you fill out that priority enrollment form. And you can do that whether you come to freshman for a day or not. Fill out that priority enrollment form, because then the registrar will send you the online registration on January 6th. And you have about a 3-week window from January 6th through January 31st to enroll or register your child for Classical Academy High or Coastal Academy High for next year. It's the same exact window for re-enrollment. Current high school students that are re-enrolling, that is the priority window. After January 31st, we can't guarantee you enrollment in one of our programs. Before Samantha talks about enrollment for outside, one last thing I want to say about priority is, so far in the history of Classical, if you have priority, you've always got your first choice in program opportunities. And then usually there's still a few lottery spots left for students from outside of Classical. So Samantha, if they don't have that priority, what is their process for enrolling at Classical or Coastal?
Yep, absolutely. So sometimes students who aren't a current TCA student can worry, well, what about me? Well, the beauty of both of our high schools growing is Dana and I have had more lottery spots as our campuses and locations have continued to grow and expand. So I know I speak on behalf of Coastal. I definitely will have some lottery spots. Dana, do you anticipate having some lottery spots this year? I see.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we got you. I want to make sure that we cover, though, our process to make sure that you are included in our lottery. So tell your friends if you're a TCA student, if they're outside of the TCA family currently and they want to join our family, let them know that they must complete an electronic lottery slip. Or maybe you're watching this video and you're currently at MLK Middle School or middle school in Escondido. You must complete an electronic lottery slip. We encourage you to attend our in-person open house. As Dana said, it looks like for studio, the open house is on January 28th. PL is the 29th, and then Coastal High is the 30th. So once again, if you really wanted to make it a whole family event for the week, every night of the week for 3 nights in a row, you could visit all three of our programs. And so you'll hear, I know we give a presentation that gives an overview of our school. We'll give a tour of the campus. You'll get to interact with some of our different groups. And then let's see, as of November 18th, it looks like the electronic lottery slips are already available.
That's right. They're coming in right now.
Yeah, so if you're watching this video and you know you want to get into the lottery, we have that link already available on our Classical Academy website. So if you just Google the Classical Academies, you'll see a link that takes you right to our lottery slips. And then we will be having our lottery on February 14th. I actually heard, Dana, that it was the 13th and we start notifying on the 14th. I wonder if it's different. It's either the 13th or the 14th, one of the two. Regardless, around that time frame, calls will be made for students accepted into the program. You do not need to be present at the lottery to accept your spot. We will reach out to you. And so current TCA families that are interested in joining us, we just want to reiterate that there are no bad options with classical or coastal. Dana and I work very closely together. We have many similarities in our program, but we have unique differences that we like to celebrate because we believe in providing academic choice to our families here at the Classical Academies. And I know I speak on behalf of Dana when I say we're here to support you and your student during these very important 4 years of their life, which Dana and I love. Dana, anything you wanted to add as we close out here?
I checked the lottery date. You're right. It's on the 13th, and we will notify you on the 14th. You don't have to show up for that lottery. And yeah, these are amazing years of your son or daughter's life, and we are here to support you. We love our jobs. We love high schoolers, and they can't go wrong at Classical or Coastal. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you on campus. Bye-bye.